Hey Anna, so the book you challenged me to read was Shot Through the Heart by Mikal Gilmore, and I really enjoyed this book. Michael Gilmore's brother, Gary, was Gary Gilmore, who was like the first person executed, based after like the death penalty was reinstated. There's a bunch of books about it, and a movie, I guess. It's a little bit older of a story, so I'm not as familiar with it, which was kind of interesting reading this because Michael assumed that you knew the story and the history, which I didn't quite as much, but it was a really interesting book for me to read, because not only did he look at their family history and what transpired in their family to kind of make him and his brothers the way they are. Basically, he has two of his brothers died and were like criminals. Gary was famous for getting the death penalty, and his other brother was killed as a result of some of his nefarious pursuits. One of his other brothers not living quite as successfully, but stayed out of the criminal path, and he was relatively successful in his career, Michael. So, kind of looking at the different ways that their family relationship kind of changed the way that all four of them ended up growing up and getting through life was really interesting. But then he also looked too at some of the religious history and religious mindset and how that might have affected their family as well, including his brother's choice for the death by firing squad and not lethal injection. Haha, I can talk today. So that was really interesting too, looking at, it went into a little bit the Mormons and, their belief in blood atonement, because his mother was raised Mormon. So it was just really interesting, like, seeing all the different ways that interplayed, how he interplayed family faith, family history and religious history and life circumstances and all of that to just kind of like look at how he and his brothers ended up where they were. And it was also really interesting, too, because it didn't just focus on the famous brother. It focused on all of them, his parents, and just what their life was. And so that was really cool, too. I give it 4 out of 5 stars.